Welcome to the Indiana Department of Education webinar series on the new Student-Centered Accountability Report Card. This presentation will provide an overview of the new report card and provide some tips on how to read and verify the data presented on the card. My name is Jeff Milkey, and I'm the Data Modeling and Analytics Coordinator for the Office of Accountability. If you have any questions during the presentation, please send them through email to schoolaccountability@doe.in.gov. We will be compiling the questions and will circle back around to them at the end of the presentation as time permits. This presentation will cover the new accountability system as necessary to explain the report card, but the primary focus today will be on the report card itself. If you would like more information on the new accountability system, I encourage you to look up the recordings of one of our other presentations which cover a general overview of the new accountability system and a detailed deep dive of the growth domain. These are archived on our website and available on demand. First, we will start with where to access the report card. Currently, if you are set up as a school or corporation administrator, you can access the 14-15 demonstrational run of the new interactive report card through our Accountability Center at accountability.doe.in.gov. That's accountability.doe.in.gov. The demo uses 14-15 data to demonstrate the new model. This is not a real accountability grade and will not have any accountability impact. It is for demonstration of the new system only. This site uses our DOE online credentials. Each school corporation should have an administrator to help with setting up accounts, but you can also email us at schoolaccountability@doe.in.gov if you have any trouble, and we can help you out setting up your account as well. As we bring up the report card, the first thing you'll notice is the overall summary at the top of the card. This summary lists the three domains, performance, growth, and multiple measures, as well as the weight of each of those domains and their effect on your grade. If your school has only elementary and middle grades, the weight will be 50-50 between performance and growth. For high schools, it will be 40-60 between performance and multiple measures, as there is no growth baseline yet for the new 10th grade ISTEP. If you're a combined school, the domains will be weighted according to enrollment, which you can see broken down to the right of the overall summary in the orange section. If you're curious about the formula to determine the weighting of the domains, you can click on any of the domain weights to view the details of the calculation. This highlights one of the major enhancements of the new interactive report card. You can click on any calculated number to get a detailed breakdown of how the number was calculated. In this example, you will see the actual rule for weighting in highlighted sections that apply to your school. Scrolling down, each of the three domains is listed with how the points are calculated for that domain. Each domain summary has two sections. On the left is a breakdown of the unique indicators of each domain and the points calculated for those indicators. On the right is a summary of the points for each indicator and then the total points earned for that domain. First, looking at the performance domain summary, we can see the two performance indicators, pass rate and participation. If you'd like an in-depth presentation on these indicators, as well as the ones we'll get to later, I once again remind you to watch the archive of our earlier webinars. At this point, I'll highlight one of the new features of the interactive report card, drilling down on any calculated indicator. We'll click on English Language Arts pass rate to see the detailed breakdown of that calculation. At the top of all drill downs, you will see a summary line detailing the numerator and denominator of the calculation. In this case, we see the school had 202 proficient students out of 260 eligible students, which gives us the 77.7% pass rate we saw on the previous screen. Under the summary, the student data table lists all students included in the calculation. In this case, we can see the student name, STN, grade, days in attendance, the assessment they took, and their proficiency status. The students that did not pass are towards the top in red, and the proficient students are in green as we scroll down. Another one of the new features to make understanding your roster a little easier this year is also available on this page. The most common question we received in past years was who is and is not included in each calculation and why. On all of these drill downs, you will see two buttons above the roster, one for students included, which we are viewing now, and one for students excluded. The included tab shows the students who are affecting your calculation. By selecting the excluded tab, you can see the students who are enrolled at your school but did not affect the calculation. You will also see a short one-line explanation for why the student was excluded. In the case of pass rate, the most common reason will be enrolled less than 162 days. I'll bring up the participation drill down quickly where you can see the same features. You can see the students who did and did not participate, as well as the students who were not included in the calculation and why they were not included. Looking at the summary for performance on the right, we can see our two indicator scores, their weighting, math and English are weighted equally in this case, and the final domain score at the bottom. If you are a combined elementary high school, you will have performance and participation indicators for both grade spans, which will be weighted according to enrollment. Next is the growth domain. I'll once again remind you of our growth webinar, which you can find archived on our accountability website, which details growth in depth. As far as the report card, you'll see the points for your top 75 and bottom 25% groups in each subject. These 2-point values are averaged to get the total points for each subject area. Similar to the performance domain, I encourage you to click on each number to view the student roster breakdown of the calculation. You will see the summary at the top again, and then the student listing down below. For growth, you'll want to consult the growth table, where you map the prior year proficiency, which is available on this table, and growth percentile, also listed, to determine the points for each student. The points are then totaled and divided by the count of eligible students to reach the score. Once again, you can click to see the students enrolled who are not included in your growth calculation and why by clicking the excluded button above the roster. I'll point out for the 14-15 demonstrational run and the future 15-16 actual run that there is no growth for high school grades as we wait for a stable baseline of tests on the same college and career ready standards. We anticipate 16-17 as the first year for high school growth. For the final domain, let me switch over to our example high school. As you can see at the top, we now have our high school weighting of 40% performance and 60% multiple measures. As I scroll down, I'll point out that the performance domain now has the high school data included. As we discussed, there is no growth for our high school this year. That brings us to the multiple measures domain at the bottom. The multiple measures domain is made up of two indicators, college and career readiness on the far left and graduation to the right of that. I'll highlight first that just like the old system, due to graduation cohorts not finalizing until the late fall, this domain is looking at data from the previous year cohort. For CCR and 4-year rate, that means for the 14-15 demonstrational report card, we are looking at the 2014 graduation cohort. The 5-year graduation rate is therefore looking at the 2013 graduation cohort, which is the most recent 5-year cohort. Just like the other domains, You can click on any of the indicators to view the students included in each calculation and the applicable data points. On CCR, for example, you will see each of your graduates for that cohort and whether they achieved one of our accepted CCR types. Those that did are highlighted here in blue. The state CCR factor approved by the State Board of Education is 4, which corresponds to the 25% goal they've set. Your CCR achievement rate is multiplied by 4 to get your CCR achievement points. There is a maximum of 100 available points, which we have hit in this example case. Similarly, we can look at our graduation rate to see our cohort and the students who graduated, which are also highlighted in blue on that screen. Note that for 4-year graduation rate, a rate of 90% or higher is treated as 100 points, as defined by the administrative code. In this example, they had 105 graduates out of a 110 cohort, which gave them a graduation rate of 95.5%. Because that's above 90, that is treated as 100 points for this indicator. The 5-year graduation bonus is new to the system this year and awards schools a bonus based on graduating students in their 5th year. As I stated earlier, this will be based on the most recently finalized 5-year cohort, which in the demo is the 2013 cohort. Drilling down, we can see that there were 98 4-year graduates in this cohort and 99 5-year graduates in the cohort. This indicates an improvement of 1 student, which for this cohort size is an improvement of about 1%. We can scroll down to find the improved student highlighted in blue. Like previous domains, these indicators and their points are summarized on the right and weighted and totaled to get the overall domain points. CCR and graduation are weighted equally for multiple measures. Finally today, we'll end by taking a look at the exported report card report. This is available at the top of the report card, and for the actual release next fall for the 15-16 A through F grade will be available through the Learning Connection in the same place you have always found your report card report. There are 2 export options on this page, PDF and Excel. If you're looking to print, PDF will be your preferred format. For reviewing data, Excel will likely be your choice. Today, we're going to look at the Excel version, although they are identical in layout. To download the report, simply click on the button of the version you would like to download. The first tab of the report will be the Summary tab, which should look very familiar to the website layout we just went over. The following tabs will be the meat of the report, listing the student roster. This contains all the same data as we just went through in a single worksheet. For example, if you wish to confirm the 202 out of 260 English Language Arts pass rate we went over previously, you can easily do that using filters. To make the Excel manipulation a bit easier this year, we included helpful included columns. For pass rate, we just need to filter for included and pass rate, and these are the 260 students included in pass rate. If we then filter for passing status, we can confirm our 202 passing students. This same filtering can be done for participation and growth, which is the section to the right with the yellow heading. The next tab is identical to this, but is a roster for your mathematics performance. Once again, you have your performance data under the blue heading and your growth domain data to the right under the orange or yellow heading. If we switch over to our high school report, we once again see our summary page on sheet 1, and our English language arts and math rosters on sheets 2 and 3. I'll remind you, for high school, there will be no growth data for this year. For high schools, there will be 2 additional worksheets in your report. The first additional worksheet will be your 4-year cohort. This will be used to verify your graduation rate and CCR achievement rosters. To verify your graduation, you will look in the 4-year graduation indicator column, which will state whether a student is graduated or did not graduate. The columns to the right are used for CCR. The first column will indicate whether the student was included in the CCR indicators. The next 4 columns will indicate whether they had AP success, IB success, IC success, which is industry certification, and DC success, which is dual credit. If any of those are yes, the last column will state yes for their actual CCR achievement. The final tab is for your 5-year graduate bonus. The 4-year graduation indicator column will indicate whether they graduated in 4 years, and the 5-year graduation indicator will indicate whether they graduated in 5 years. To determine the students giving you a bonus, you'll simply filter the 4-year graduates for those that did not graduate, and filter the 5-year graduates for those that then graduated. This completes our overview of the new interactive report card and the exportable reports. That is going to wrap up our presentation today. If you think of any questions later, or you think of any suggestions for the new report card that you think would be a good addition, you can reach us at schoolaccountability@doe.in.gov, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you, and have a nice day.